Hello everyone, I'm Fazan Ahmad Jafri. I am a software engineer and also a member of seasoned cybersecurity professionals community. Today we are going to learn how to build a simple port scanner in Python. Now this is not going to be a traditional tutorial video in which I would write and explain code line by line, as it would consume a lot of your precious time. As you can see, I have already written a working code and I'm going to jump right into the explanation. So let's get started. So first of all, we will import a socket library into our code. Then we have defined a function named check_port, which expects two parameters, host name and port number. Then we have defined our socket variable in which we get the socket using the library we imported earlier. Then we try to connect that socket to the host name and the port number provided in the method parameters. Then we have set the timeout to 0.2 seconds, which is all the time the socket has to connect to this host name and port number. Now, this timeout makes the output less accurate, but it makes the program execution fast. So it is up to us to use the timeout or not. And then we have placed this code in the try block, which is used for exception handling, which is if there is an exception during the execution of this code, my program will not crash. It will check if the exception is socket.error, it will return false, and if there's no exception during the execution, it will return true. So this is our method which we have to use for checking if the port is open or not. And then here is the code from where the execution of the program will start. So we have a variable host in which we have taken a user input, which will be the host provided by the user. Then we have defined the for loop in which the range is between 1 and 1025, and this port variable is the iterating variable. So in this loop we have checked the port is open or not using the method we have defined checkPort, in which we pass the host as was given by the user and the port one by one in this range, which is between 1 and 1025. If the port is open, that is if the check port returns true, the program will write port is open, else it will write the port is closed. So let's check by running the program. So I'm providing the host now. So the program has started checking for the ports, and as you can see, it's taking a lot of time because it's checking for each port one by one and using a single thread. Now to make this program run fast, we can use the multi-threaded environment, and for that we have here a new code which uses the multi-threaded environment to scan the ports and know if the ports are open or not. So here we have imported the libraries that we need to use: datetime library, threading library, threading library, and library. Then we have the function named connect, which is almost same as the function check_port. It expects host name, port number, and an output variable in which we will store the status of the port against its port number, and the rest is the same. The socket will try to connect. If it is connected successfully, it will store the status of the port as open, and if there is an exception, it will store the status of the port as closed. Then we have another method named scan ports, which only expects the host name and maintains the output and the threads we are using. Then we have taken the range 65536, so we would be scanning all of the ports, and for each port we have created a thread which targets the connect method we have here, and in arguments we have passed the host name we got, the port number would be the range one by one, it will be the iterating variable for it, and in the output the status of the port will be saved against the port, and finally the thread will be appended in this thread list, and after that each thread will be started and then joined. This join is used because when we are in multi-threaded environment, there's a high chance that there will be a deadlock or something. So all this join does is stops the main thread to completely be executed. So it will prevent any of the exceptions to occur between the execution of. Check for the status of each port, and if the port status is open, it will print the port number, and if it is able to find the service name which is running against that port on the host, it will also tell us about the service name, and if it is not found, if there is an exception, it will say service name is not found. Now to get the service name, we have to use this method of socket library get service by port, and here we have passed it the port and the protocol TCP. Now for all the ports, obviously the protocol won't be TCP. This is just to show you how we can get the service name of the service running against the port number, and then of course the program execution will start. We have taken the input, the date time before starting scanning and after starting scanning, and then we will have our total time which it took to complete the scan. So let's just test it out. So here we have the output of all the ports that are opened, and as you can see, it was successful in finding two service names which are running against these ports, and for the rest of the ports it was able to find which ports are open but not the service names, and the time taken was 17 seconds for all the 65536 ports in range. That's all for today. Thank you.